you're on it. Okay, cool. All right, so I'm going to share my screen now. Give me 1 second. Share screen. There we go. Okay. Messages. There we go. Okay. Might be easier to handle like that. I'll minimize that. Okay. There we go. All right, that should be fine. Okay. Linking to external pages with anchor elements. So anchor elements are elements that you can use to link to content outside of your web page. So yeah, like normal hyperlinks, that's what anchor elements are. Anchor elements need a destination web address called an href attribute, and they also need anchor text. So they have this example right here, and yeah, that right there. So I can actually copy that. So your browser will then display this text, which says this links to freecodecamp.org. So if I paste that right down there, you can see it says this links to freecodecamp.org, and you click it, and it takes you to freecodecamp.org's main website, like that. So yeah, that's what hyperlinks do, or anchor elements. They create links. So yeah, so they want you to create an anchor element that links to this link, freecatphotoapp.com, and has cat photos as its anchor text. So right here, where it says this links to freecodecamp.org, that's anchor text, and then this href attribute, this right here, has the equal sign and then the 2 quotes around it, and then inside those quotes is the actual link you want the anchor tag to go to when it's clicked. So just let me know when you're done with that. Just give me a smiley face. Just let me know what you're done. If you need help, remember to ask. Cool. Yeah, so the answer here was to just create an element that links to freecatphotoapp.com. Let me just do that. And then the anchor text says cat photos, just like that. And I don't think they gave it a specific, they told you where to place it. So I'm going to place it just at the top right here. Run the tests, and there we go. Next challenge. Okay, linking to internal sections of a page using anchor elements. So what they mean by internal sections is they mean sections inside the website and not out. So they don't mean like an actual link to go to somewhere, but they mean like a certain position in the text in the site. So you can see, yeah, anchor elements can be used to create internal links to jump to different sections within the web page. To create an internal link, you assign a link's href attribute to a hash symbol plus the value of the ID attribute for the element that you want to internally link to, usually further down the page. You then need to add the same ID attribute to the element you are linking to. An ID attribute is uniquely describes the element. So yeah, an ID attribute is an attribute that is used to like uniquely identify an attribute. It doesn't really have a purpose, and every single element can use it, but it's just used to identify certain elements. So below is an example of an internal link, anchor link in its target element. So I can do this right here. I'll give you an example because it is kind of confusing. So it's like a normal anchor tag, like this. So just like a normal anchor tag like that. And you can put some text in it. So I'm going to put jump to section. At the bottom here, it'll say that too, but I need to put a link into it. So I want to jump to this right here, this piece of text right here, or maybe, yeah, this piece of text. So this piece of kitty ipsum text, I want it to go there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it an ID like that. And I'm going to give it an ID of just kitty like that. So it doesn't really matter what the ID is. It's just used for something to identify a piece of an element. So it doesn't really matter what it is, just that it's used and linked through here. So now I have the ID of kitty. So when I scroll down, I can put hashtag kitty like how they're doing here. They have an href that links to a hashtag like that. And then they also have an ID, an element with an ID that has that same exact ID here. So by doing this, now if I scroll down and I click jump to section, it'll jump up to this piece of kitty ipsum text right here. So I just go back down, I click, and it makes it jump back up to here. All right, so what they want you to do though is change your external link, the external link, which is the one up here, to an internal link by changing the href attribute to hashtag footer, like that, and the text from cat photos, the anchor text inside, to jump to bottom. And then they want you to remove the target equals blank, this target attribute, this target equals to blank attribute from the anchor tag, since this causes the linked documents to open up a new tab. So yeah, if you test cat photos right now, it'll actually open up a new tab. Yeah, so that's what that attribute does. This attribute right here, if you do target equals to underscore blank, it actually links and it creates a new tab outside of the website you're in. And if you take it out, take this out with that. If you take it out and you click it, it won't open up the new tab. It'll just stay here. So that's what target blank does. But they want you to remove that, and then they want you to add an ID attribute with the value of footer to the footer element at the bottom of the page. So yeah, there's a footer element right here. Yeah, and so once you're done with this challenge, just let me know. I know it can get a little confusing, especially with internal links, but if you have any questions, just ask. The last step. In the last step, they want you to, the ID attribute. So this attribute right here, this ID attribute right here. So this ID attribute has to be footer. Well, I'm using this as an example. They don't want you to put kitty, but ID equals to kitty like that. And then inside they want you to put like whatever ID, and then and then you want to put that same ID inside of the href attribute. I want you to perform that action on the link that's at the top of the page. So yeah, just let me know when you're done. Cool. Cool. Yeah, so the answer here was to take out, let me reset all code. So the answer here was to change our external link to an internal link by changing the href attribute to hashtag footer. So hashtag footer would refer to the footer at the bottom when we give it the that. And the footer doesn't actually have to be called footer, right? The ID can be anything, but it just needs to refer to something else and be used. So if I change these both to footer too, as long as they're the same, I click jump to bottom, it still jumps to the bottom. But yeah, they want footer, they want just footer. Like that. Okay. And just there you go. All right. Next challenge. Let's see. Right. Nesting anchor elements within a paragraph tag. Right. So since you can like nest elements in other elements, you can also nest links within other text elements. So right here, they have this example right here. So I can copy that in here and paste it. So right here, they show you what it looks like. So it's a p tag, and then inside that p tag, you have here's a as text, just normal text. So it says here's a, and then an actual element that got injected inside, and then inside that element is the anchor text link to freecodecamp.org, and then at the end just normal text which says for pieces of a sentence that are links and others that aren't. So for this challenge, they want you to nest the existing A element, within a new P element, a new paragraph element. The paragraph element, they're referring to the one that's just after the existing main element. So the one that's just after the existing main element. Oh, they mean this. Within a new, yeah. So they mean this link. And they want you to nest that within a new P element just after the main, right here, this main tag. They want you to create a new P element here. And the new paragraph should have the text, view more cat photos, where cat photos is a link and the rest of the text is plain text. So just give me a 1 or a smiley face to let me know that you're done. If something still doesn't make sense, just let me know. The last part. So for the challenge, they want you to create a new paragraph that has the text view more cat photos, where cat photos is a link and the rest of the text is plain text. So here for this example at the bottom, you can see that it's just a normal p tag, and then there's just normal text in here that says here's a. But what they're doing here is just nesting an A element inside. That's all they're doing. They're just nesting an A element inside. They're injecting it inside here, inside the text. And the link anchor text has the rest of the text that's supposed to be a link. So, okay, cool. So yeah, the answer here was to create a P element, a new P element. So P, and then just move this in like that. Oh, oops. Oh, let me do that. Okay. And then another P element right here. There's closing tag. And then on top, I could just put view more cat photos. I think that's all they wanted. Tests. There we go. Right. Next challenge. All right, making dead links using the hash symbol. Okay, so sometimes you want to add an anchor element to a website before you know their link. So say for a lot of times for me, say you're still building a website, but you want to start out with the home page, and you don't want to you don't want to do any of the other pages yet, like the about page or the context page. You don't want to do any of those websites yet before you do the homepage. So you want to do the homepage first, but you need to create a link to go somewhere, right? You need to create a link that goes to another page because the homepage has the about page link and the context link, but you don't really have anything in there to put yet because you haven't made those pages yet. So what you can do is use dead links. So you can make dead links using the hash symbol. The current href value attribute is a link that points to freecatphotoapp.com, like right here. They want you to replace that href attribute with a hashtag to create a dead link. Yeah, so you can create dead links using hashtags. So if I just do href hashtag this, call it dead link, like that. That. If I click this link, nothing happens. It's a dead link. So yeah. They're useful when you just want a placeholder link. You don't want it to actually go anywhere, you just want it to be there. So yeah, just let me know when you're done with that. Cool. Alright, yeah. So the challenge here was to just replace the href with a hash symbol like that. And now it doesn't go anywhere. Oh, actually it does go somewhere. Yeah, the reason it goes somewhere is because we still have the target blank here. Yeah, so I want to take that out too. But now when I click it, nothing happens. Yeah, cool. So now run the test. I think that's all I wanted. Yep. Okay. Go to next challenge. Okay, turning an image into a link. So, you can nest A elements inside of P elements, but you can also nest other elements inside of anchor elements. And those elements include images. So you can actually turn an image into a link using HTML. So to do this, you want to nest an image within an A element. So here's an example right here. I can show you this. Like that. And you can see that when I mouse over it, when I mouse over this image, you can see my my cursor turn to a pointer cursor. And when I click it, nothing happens. It just goes back up to the top of the page because the dead link. You can see the hashtag there. Since it's the dead link, it doesn't go anywhere. But you can still see my mouse cursor go to a pointer. So the link would function if you put an actual link in there, a URL. So they want you, for this example, or for this challenge, they want you to place the existing image element within an anchor element. And once you've done this, hover over your image with your cursor, and your cursor's normal pointer should be a link clicking pointer. So when you're done with that, just let me know. Cool. All right. Next thing. So they want you to just create an element around the current image that we have. Give them href with a dead link, and now you can click it. But this is good. It doesn't go anywhere. So yeah. All right, run the tests. There we go. All right, going to the next challenge. All right, creating a bulleted unordered list. So HTML has a special element for creating unordered lists or bullet point style lists. Unordered lists start with opening a UL element, followed by any number of LI elements. Finally, unordered lists close with a UL element. So the UL here stands for unordered list, and the LI here stands for list item. And then unordered lists, yeah, they close with the UL too, the UL. So this is what they look like. It's actually an element that requires having nested elements inside of it. In this case, the li tags. So if I copy and paste it here, you can see an example of this. That's what they look like. They're bulleted style lists. So you need multiple list elements like this to create this. So you see milk is in one element, one li element, and then cheese is in one li element. They're both in their own. Yeah, little lists. And they want you to remove the last two p elements, and they want you to create an unordered list of 3 things that cats love at the bottom of the page. So they want you to create a list. They want you to delete these 2 pieces of ipsum text. They want you to get rid of it and then remove them and then replace it with an unordered list of 3 things that cats love at the bottom of the page. So once you're done with that, just give me a 1 smiley face or just let me know what you're done. Okay, cool. So they want you to, the answer here is to just take out those 2 paragraph tags, create a U element like that. Like that. Okay, 3 things that cats love. Milk. Let's see. Catnip. A lot of cats like catnip. And finally, we have. Oh. Finally. Sleeping. Yeah, that's a good one. Actually, I'll put cat naps. There we go. Okay. Li. There we go. Run the tests. And next challenge. Cool. All right. Next challenge. Okay. Creating an ordered list. So an ordered lists are exactly like UL elements, but instead they get numbered. So I can give you an example here. Like that. And then you see there's a 1 and a 2. So there's actually no 1s or 2s in the HTML here. Those get put in automatically because it's an ordered list. So, but apart from that, it's basically a normal unordered list. It's just a normal list. So here, they want you to create an ordered list of the top 3 things cats hate the most. So once you're done with that, just let me know. Cool. Okay. So the answer here was to just create an ordered list with 3 things. Okay. Well, top one is probably water. Actually, yeah, it's pretty just water in general, but getting wet, yeah. What else do cats hate? Cats, a lot of cats don't like dogs. And then we have, let's see, not sleeping. Perfect. Not sleeping. There you go. All right. Run the test. There you go. That's an unordered list, or an ordered list. Creating text fields. Okay. So let's see. Yeah. So now we can create a web form. So you can actually create text fields in HTML. And to do this, you'd use the input element. So input elements, kind of like image elements, are actually self-closing too. So if I copy this, I can show you an example what this looks like, just like that, and you can see this. You can have a text box at the bottom right here that you can actually type into. You can text into. And they just want you to create an input element of a type text, so that has the attribute text below your lists, below the lists. So yeah, once you're done with that, just let me know. All right, cool. So yeah, the answer here was to just put a text element right there. Oh. Input, input type equals to text. They're probably going to tell us about the other different types of input texts too, but there's like checkboxes and radio buttons too, things that you can just check like that. But I'm pretty sure they're going to let us know about that later. So yeah, this is a text box. Run the tests. There we go. Okay. Next challenge. Right, so add placeholder text to a text field. Right, so text elements have this attribute called placeholder text, or just placeholder. That looks like this placeholder right here. And you can create placeholder text like this. So placeholder text is what's displayed in your input before your user has inputted anything. So when when an input text is empty, it'll show the placeholder text in like gray. And you can create placeholder text by just adding another attribute to the input element called placeholder. And in quotes like this, you put your placeholder text. And yeah, so they want you to set the placeholder value of your text input to cat photo URL. So if you're done with that, just let me know. Cool. Okay, yeah. So it was just to add another attribute to this answer. That's just the answer. And call it cat photo URL, just like that. And you can see right here that once you type text, it goes away, but once you have zero text in there, it shows up. Run the tests. There we go. All right, next challenge. Creating an HTML form element. So you can build web forms that actually submit data to a server using nothing more than pure HTML. And you can do this by specifying an action on your form element. So we don't have a web server, so I think they're just giving us like a dead link. But if you did have a web server, and the web server is just a computer that's connected to the internet and that hosts websites. So freecodecamp.org, the website you're on right now, is hosted on a web server in some other area around the world. And your computer just asks the server for that data of the site that you're on right now, that HTML content, and then that server sends back that HTML content to display on your page. So web servers can also receive form data too. So, and you can actually link to a web servers using form elements and like putting a URL inside of this action attribute. So what they want you to do here is nest your text field inside of a form element and then add the action attribute, this action submit cat photo attribute, to the form element. So yeah, this is a form element like this, form element, that, And then they want you to put a text field inside of there. So like the input type equals text, like that, right? And then they want you to put the action attribute in there too. So yeah, once you're done with that, just let me know. So they just want you to put this input element in a form. They just want to put that element that's on the screen already into a form element. You can click reset all code. There, it should be the button right under run the tests that you can just click, and you can click reset this lesson. Oh, Command Z is like undo. Yeah, you should be able to just reset the lesson by just clicking reset all code. Okay. Cool. Okay. So the answer here was to just do this like this. Hit the form action right there. That just create a form like that. Form element, and then closing the form element, and then the URL action they want you to go to is to submit cat photo. Let me do this like that. So submit dash cat dash photo like that. So form elements might not make too much sense right now because we don't have like a web server to test it out. But if we submitted this, let me see if I can submit this. If I press enter, nothing happens. But when this form is submitted, it would like take this input text and give it to the server, and that's basically it. Whatever action URL they have here, when that form is submitted, it'll take all the data that's in this form, like all the text that you put here in this text element, all that text will be sent to the server. And it's a pretty abstract concept right now, but it'll probably make sense in later lessons. But basically, the form element, it takes all the data that's inside of it, all the data that the user put into it, and submits it to the server. So yeah, so if you click run all tests there, yeah, it'll make more sense. It'll make more sense later. But it's just a way in HTML to send data to a server. All right. Yeah, so they're talking about adding a submit button to a form now. So let's add a submit button to the form by adding this piece of code right here. So yeah, when you add that piece of code into a form element like that, you can see the button. Now we have a button right there that says this button submits a form. And what that does is it'll send that data to the attribute, the action attribute value that you put here. Now the submit button will actually send it to the server. So yeah, that's how you do buttons as well. Yeah, you can do buttons like that. Click them like that. And for this, they want you to add a button as the last element of your form element with a type of submit, and submit as its text. And after you're done with that, you can just let me know. Yeah. All right, cool. So the answer here was to just create a submit button with the text called submit inside, like that. And then yeah, that's it. Yeah, so by clicking that button, if this action URL actually existed, it would send that data to that URL. All right, running the test. Yep, there we go. Right. Next challenge. Okay, so using HTML to require a field. So yeah, you can require specific form fields that your user will not be able to submit your form until they've filled it out. So if you wanted like certain text fields to be required, you can just add the required attribute within your input element like that. So the required attribute actually is one of those attributes that actually doesn't need a value. It just needs to be in your code. It just needs to be in the tag to exist. So yeah, if by just putting the word required there, it'll make your input required. So yeah, the challenge here is to make your text input a required field so that your user cannot submit the form without completing this field. Then try to submit the form without inputting any text, and then you can see how your HTML form notifies you that the text field is required. So once you're done with that, just let me know. Right. So yeah, cool. The answer here was to just get the required attribute and put it right there. So if I say like something here, submit, it works. But if I put nothing in, yeah, see now it says, please fill out this field. Cool. Right, so you can run those tests. There we go. Next challenge. All right, so basic HTML and HTML5, creating a set of radio buttons. So radio buttons, you can use radio buttons for questions where you only want the user to give you one answer out of multiple options. Radio buttons are a type of input. So yeah, since they're a type of input, they use the input tag and only the type changes. Each of your radio buttons can be nested within its own label element, and by wrapping an input element inside of a label element, it'll automatically associate that radio button input with the label element surrounding it. So when those two things are associated, that means when you click the label, it'll check the radio button off. But if they weren't like together, if you tried to click the label, even though it's close to the radio button, it wouldn't actually check the radio button I guess. So all related radio buttons should have the same name attribute to create a radio button group. And by creating a radio group, selecting any single radio button will automatically deselect the other buttons within the same group. So I can show you that. So I do this here, like this, a label, and you see we wrapped it inside of a label right here. And so now when I click indoor, it'll check this box, but say I put it right here instead, see how it's still close to it, but now I try clicking and it just doesn't do anything. So yeah, so by putting it inside the label like that, now when I click it, it actually checks the box right there. So by putting it in the label element, you can have these two elements linked together, the text and the input. Okay. And so there's also this, and they're also talking about name right here. So I can do another one called outdoor. So now when I select this button, it gets selected, and I try to select this one, and it goes to this one. And the only reason it's doing that is because these two name attributes are the exact same. But say I take out a letter on one, now when I select this one, it gets selected. When I select this one, they're both selected now. So now, yeah, now I can't like unselect them either. So they have to have the same name for them to be linked to each other and the other to be disconnected, like that. So it is considered best practice to set a for attribute on the label element with a value that matches the value of the ID attribute of the input element. This allows assistive technologies to create a linked relationship between the label and the child input element. By assistive technologies, they mean like for people that are handicapped in some way, like certain programs that help them having for attributes. Those programs look at that. So it's good practice to just have those there. So yeah, if I add a for right here, for indoor, and then I put the ID here as indoor, like that. So this is the best practice to do. So having a for attribute, and then having an ID attribute that matches that for attribute, like that. So yeah. So in this challenge, they want you to add a pair of radio buttons to your form, each nested within its own label element. One should have the option of indoor, and the other should have the option of outdoor. And both should share the name attribute of indoor-outdoor. So you can do that, and they want you to put it inside the form element, the current form element that we have. I don't think it matters where you put it, but just put it above the submit button. So yeah, once you're done with that, just let me know. Yeah, you want to place those radio buttons above the submit button. Cool. Okay, so the answer here was to create 2 radio buttons. So I'm going to place one there, just like that. Then one has to be indoor, the other, let me tab this in a little, like that, okay. One has to be indoor, and the other has to be, the other has to be outdoor, like that. And then this needs to be outdoor too. Okay. I think that's all they wanted. Yeah, so you can see it right here. You have indoor and outdoor, like that. And you can select between them. Okay, so I think that's all they wanted, so I'm gonna run the tests. There you go. All right, next challenge. Okay, so creating a set of checkboxes. All right, so forms commonly use checkboxes that for questions that have more than one answer. So yeah, they're kind of like the opposite of radio buttons, where you can only choose one at a time. Checkboxes, you can choose one or more. Checkboxes are still another type of input. Each of your checkboxes can be nested within its own label element. And by wrapping an input element inside of the label element, it'll automatically associate the checkbox with the label element surrounding it. So yeah, so it'll automatically, so kind of like the radio buttons too, by wrapping an input element inside of the label element, it'll automatically associate the two. And all related checkbox inputs should have the same name attribute, like how the radio button is. And it is considered best practice to explicitly define the relationship between the checkbox input and its corresponding label by setting the for attribute, just like the radio button. And here's an example of a checkbox. So let me do that. You can see example here where it's now it's a checkbox. So I can check it like that. Turn it on and off. And you can have more than one as well. And you also want to make sure that name equals, that name attribute has the same personality, as the same value as everything else, so which is personality. And once you're done with that, just let me know. Cool. Okay. So they want us to add your form to a set of three. Add to your form a set of 3 checkboxes. Each checkbox should be nested within its own label element, and all 3 should share the name of personality. All right. Let's do this. All right, so I'm gonna place mine right under the indoor outdoor, like that. So one of the personalities is loving. One of them should be, let's see, we can do energetic. And another one is just docile. There we go. So yeah, there's my 3 checkboxes, and they work. You can be more than one, like that. But we also need to change the 4 right here, this 4 attribute, because it's best practice. So I'm going to do energetic here, and then for docile, I'm going to do docile, like that. There we go. Okay. So yeah, just like that. Now you have checkboxes. All right, I'm gonna run the tests. There we go. Great. Next challenge. All right, using the value attribute with radio buttons and checkboxes. Okay. So when a form gets submitted, the data is sent to the server and includes entries for the options selected. Inputs of type radio and checkbox report their values from the value attribute. So yeah, when you're sending data, if you don't have a value attribute, it's gonna send whatever the name of the text is right here. Actually, I don't think it'll send anything. Yeah, it won't even send it won't even send the label text. So what you need to do is put a value right here, like that. That value attribute will be sent to the server. So depending on, like, if they pick indoor cat or outdoor cat, if they pick an indoor cat, the value of indoor will be sent to the server. If they pick outdoor, the value of outdoor, this string right here, will be sent to the server. So here you have 2 radio inputs. And when the user submits the form with the indoor option selected, the form data will include the line indoor-outdoor equals to indoor, right? And this from the name and value attributes. This is from the name and value attributes of the indoor output. So yeah. So the server will receive something that looks like this when you press submit. If you omit the value of the attribute, the submitted data on the form uses the default value, which is on. The default value in HTML, if you don't give it anything, any value, it'll respond with the value on, but that won't really help. So let's see. So the challenge here is to give the radio and checkbox inputs the value attribute. Use the input label text in lowercase as the value for the attribute. Right. And I think, yeah, so they want you to give all the radio and checkbox inputs the value attribute. And they want you to use the input label text. So like for indoor, they want you to do, they want you to create a value attribute for that. So once you're done with that, just let me know. Okay, cool. So yeah, they want you to just do that. Let me see if I can do this. So the answer here is to add, let me see. Oh, that almost worked. That's weird. Why doesn't that work? Maybe I need to do this. Okay, and I do that, and then this. There we go. Okay. Cool. Okay. I think that's all I wanted. Oh, but they also wanted it to be lowercase. E. Okay. There we go. Let me resize that back. So yeah, now all the attributes will have values like that. So they won't just say on when they're sent to the server. So run those tests. That's it. There we go. Right. Next challenge. Oh wait, let's see. Okay. I also want to ask you about the About Me website. So did you change some things on there? Cool. Yeah. So cool. Yeah. Do you want to change something but you don't know how? Oh yeah, so you change the color of the fonts and text. Cool. Do you want to change something but you don't know how to do it? Because I can help you with that. Probably the picture. Okay, I can help you with that if you want. Yeah, because we only have like 7 minutes here. Yeah, so let's do that. So you can share your screen if you want to, so I can see. If you go to the Hangouts call and then click the 3 dots in the corner and then do screen share. And then I can see your screen, so just open up the site and I can see it and help you with it. Okay, cool. Yeah, I can see your screen. Yeah, I can see. Okay. So you wanted to change the picture. Yeah, we can do that. Yeah, so that eagle. Cool. Okay. So we can change that eagle. But we're gonna need an image of you first, right? You want an image of you there? Yeah. So if you want an image of you there, yeah, you can. Okay. So you want a different image, like flowers. Okay. So, go to Google. I mean, yeah. First, find an image. You can basically use any image. So yeah, roses. Images. Okay, so yeah, click one of those, whichever one you want, and then you can right-click it. Yeah, so you want to right-click the image, and then when you right-click, you can click copy image address. You should be able to click copy image address. Yeah, so just right-click the image that you want, and then you can press copy image address. Okay, so you got that. So yeah, now you can go back to your code, and then now you can replace that like eagle image. So if you scroll down, you can probably see the eagle image somewhere, which should be right under, yeah, right over I'm an artist. Yeah. So on line 80, yeah, on line 80, so you see that SRC attribute. So you can take out what's in the SRC attribute right now. And then you can paste in that image URL. And that should be it. So if you go back, oh, it kind of looks distorted. It looks a little distorted though, because it's not a circle anymore. And the reason that's happening is because the image you put in isn't square. So either you can find another image that's a square, or you can edit the image and just like crop it out to make it a square. But yeah, an image like that would definitely work. It'll look like a circle. Did you do that? Yep, there we go. Now it's a circle. Yeah, there you go. Okay. Yeah, so that's it for that. What happened to the top nav bar at the top of your page? Like, is it still there or is it gone? It looked kind of like gone to me. It's still there? Okay, cool. All right, but oh, scroll down. Yeah, it scrolls you down when you click the the links. The is their internal links. So yeah. But that's the end of class. I'm glad I could help you out with your website. But as we learn more and more about HTML, you'll be able to add more and change more about the site. So thanks for coming to class. That's about it. Yeah. Thanks. Yeah, you too. Have a good day. Goodbye.